Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to another episode of Top Tier Talk. This week, we're going to be starting with Mr. Poch out himself. Chelsea, double game week, two London derbies, 7 goals scored, none conceded, 2-0 against Spurs, 5-0 against West Ham. So, Poch out, take it away.
Poch out. I am still Poch out despite this very unstable fan base who change their mind every 5 seconds. Chelsea Tottenham, we dominated them. Probably one of the best games I've seen this season, which was then topped by the West Ham game. Chalobah, great header. Since he's been back in the side, he's been very good. Be a bit of a shame if we sold him, because obviously I think we need the 150 million by isn't it end of June, and he's homegrown in it, so it's just pure profit. I think him and Gallagher, that's why we want to sell him. But I want to keep one at least. Nicholas Jackson gets a goal, 4 goals in 2 games against Spurs. Great header. I mean, it's a hard header. Gary Neville said it best. It is a hard header, but very quickly on Spurs, guys, what do you think? A lot of the fan base are getting a bit impatient with Ange. Do you think just stick by him, or what's your assessment of him?
Thing is, the fans nowadays in football are so quick to want to success that they can't be patient and wait a couple of years to make it work. Ange's just walked in this summer. Like,
Yeah,
give him an extra year or two. Relax.
As you said with yours, you noticed when it was in the pub watching the Liverpool Spurs game, and you saw a poll on Twitter. It was like, the amount of Chelsea fans, it was like 60% Poch in, and you're like, literally like a month ago, there was all Poch out. It's like, it's
months
just so
ago, a week
fickle.
ago, literally a week ago when we played Arsenal, they were
Yeah.
literally would have been 95% Poch out.
The thing is people, you got to kind of ask the question because obviously people were like, "Oh, we wanted Arteta kind of manager as well, just like a project manager for us." But then people, would you say to him as well? Would you go through 2 years of shit in order to get to that manager kind of level, like a project manager? Because that's what we did.
It depends on the club. I mean, Tottenham have just had shit for the last however long in terms of not winning trophies.
But this was, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But in terms of Chelsea, like we're used to instant success. So it's like you can tell why some of the fans that probably like Chelsea because of all the success are probably like they want Poch
They
out more. Does
expect
that
it like
make
instant.
sense?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
They
yeah.
expect trophies and glory every year. But I'm a realist. I know you got to go through tough times to come out on the other side. More Poch praise. I mean, the change in formation or the change in tactics have been very good to us. We've been much better. We've unlocked Caicedo. Cucurella's become an unsung hero now. I mean, a lot of people raving about him, and he went from wanting to be sold this summer to no, we need to keep him. He's a necessity player, and that's quite good to see. It's good for him because he did come for a lot of money, 60 million, and do you know what I mean? That last year was a very bad season for him. I think I wanted him. I probably said him out in my keep self. Can't remember, but it's quite nice to see players when they just overcome this stuff. Do you not agree?
But settle in eventually.
You know what I mean? Like they finally do settle in, but they were probably hated. Probably Harry Maguire is a decent example for you guys, isn't he? Chavez, or would you not say
Well,
he's not like a fan favorite?
he's not. No, but he is now. I think players would keep their head down and just get on with it. Like Casado's the same. I don't see him on social. I don't. You might know better than me, but he's not on social media asking for apologies and all of that. He just got his job done. Also, it takes time. Like you can give a season. It's a new system. I mean, Casado was playing with a very different set of players in Brighton, and then suddenly he's with a player from every continent after Bodie
Pretty
came
more
in. So
unstable club as well at the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
But he's been unlocked. He's been good. Cole Palmer, what can I say? People thought in the Spurs game because he didn't get GNA, it could be because it was obviously Villa and because he was back for the Villa game and also the Spurs game. 2 games he hadn't had any GNA. Everyone was like, "Oh, is he gonna drop in form?" And against West Ham, he comes and scores first and showing why he probably is deserving to be Young Player of the Season, in my opinion. Another player I want to talk about, Madueke. He's been unlocked as well. I think the change in tactics has been good for him because he's looking like a very, very promising player. I mean, he beats a man. He's skillful. Um, and with a run of games, he could end up next season having a very good season. And Jackson, 13 goals, more than Havertz, Højlund and stuff. Would you say it's a successful season for Jackson if at the start of the season? I think I said I'd take 10 goals, Prem goals, and he's got 13.
Well, Sylvester did take 5 for Højlund, and he cost 70 billion. So if you're basing it
Yeah,
off
but
that,
Sylvester said
he
that
should,
as an
he should.
it was
Oh
smart
yeah,
saying. He
but
knows why he said
if you're
that.
basing it off that, Jackson's had a good season. If you got 2.5 goals, because he was
Got
essentially
more
half
than
the
Nunes
price.
as well in
So
the Prem. More than
No,
Nunes.
how many has he got?
More than Nunes in the Prem.
he's got
That's
11
a
or
joke.
13 or
Yeah,
something
The
like
thing
that.
is,
Mate,
Nunes
I
is
think
pretty
he's got
poor.
more.
then
Yeah.
yeah.
No, he's done well. I mean, he's done well, Jackson.
I
Even though
mean,
he's missed a million chances.
I mean, I don't know if we spoke about this or not. I don't know if it was included, but I just wanted to leech on to the thing that we previously spoke about before this podcast when some commentators were mentioning how when Enzo's no longer part of the team, you seem to be doing well.
I
Is that
don't
true?
agree with that because I think Enzo is a fantastic footballer. I think it's because we had a bad run of form prior to that. I think he came off half time or he came off 60th minute in the Arsenal game. We ended up losing 5-0 anyway. It was 1-0 at half time. But he's been carrying an injury, and hopefully next season we can unlock him as well.
Mhm.
See what happens. But if you're carrying an injury, then you're obviously I know we know Saka's looks like he needs a rest, doesn't he? But he's
Warrior.
he's still providing. But
You can't drop players if obviously I know Chelsea are still fighting
he's
for Europe and
undroppable
stuff.
as well,
You
isn't
can't,
he?
yeah, but especially at this part of the season, that people are like he needs a rest, and everyone's like, well, he is probably Arsenal's best player. Same as obviously if you was to drop, I don't know, your informed players at this point of the season when you still got Europe to fight for. It's just not going to happen realistically, no
Yeah, and
matter
if
who
we get
you are.
Europe as a bonus, I think if we get Europe, because I didn't expect Europe like 2, 3, well, probably a month ago. I
To be
didn't
fair,
expect.
to Chelsea, if you do manage to get into Europe, even if it is Conference League, I reckon you could go on and win it.
Yeah, we have a good track record in
Yeah.
European competitions that aren't. I mean, two Europa Leagues, 2 wins. I mean,
So
You got the squad for it.
Conference League
Yeah,
is fine.
you've got the.
So
probably would become one of the favourites. But we'll see. I'm still obviously Poch out, so that's not gonna change.
Why? Yeah,
Because
no, that's the main question. I mean, he's the whole season. It's like he can only set up the team so much. The team has to convert chances, and I know XG you can't just it can't be the be all or end all. But you've underperformed it throughout the season, and finally, when your players, I think you overperformed in the last game. Your players are putting their chances away. You start winning games, and you don't just win games. By the way, your team's set up to destroy teams as long as they play well, and they have played well. They just don't finish chances. So obviously he's not like faultless, but I don't get why you're
why
so
did it
quick
take
to
him so
get him
long
out.
why did it take so long for him to the second half of Aston Villa to change?
Why would you chop and change it now when he's finally got the grip of it and start with another manager who probably would take another year to figure out these lot and what he wants?
Yeah,
I
but
don't
as
know.
long
I
as
feel like it's
we
unfair.
could end up going next week. We've still got a double game week next week as well. We could end up going to lose these 2 games.
You could, and that will probably be because
Two games. I
Nicholas
don't think
Jackson
it's
can't
a big
score a
enough.
goal.
I don't think it's a big enough sample size to go off.
No, I'm not going off of that. I think the whole season there's been some very good
I
data.
think the Carabao Cup was embarrassment. I think the Arsenal loss is an embarrassment. I think he's had a lot of embarrassing moments.
Yeah, but if you do that, then based on that, a lot of managers have had embarrassing moments. You kind of have to look at the bigger picture, and I think you should give him time. But I say that about every manager.
Yeah.
Who do you want then? Who are you? So you're so sure you want Poch out. You should be sure you want in that can do better.
it's an argument when he gets sacked.
From the pool of managers that are around, I think Tuchel's a better manager.
Yeah, but you sacked him. Like, probably hates
But
Poch.
would he come back?
If he's willing to come back, then he's a better manager than Poch.
Hasn't he got a track record for being really dodgy with the owners? And these owners literally sacked him at the first moment. He's not going to really like them, is he?
And wasn't it if Bayern Munich win the Champions League, doesn't he get like a he
No,
goes back?
I think that's done anyway. I
is
keep reading. Despite him even winning the Champions League, he's done at Bayern.
No one wants Bayern though. People keep saying no to Bayern. So
Yeah, that's true. And
how would
also
you want Bayern? You can take
Hansi
over.
Flick.
I'll take over, yeah.
Hansi
Show me
Flick
his boss.
was a winner. Hansi Flick definitely. I'd be a
Yeah.
bit on the edge.
I think this might sound really weird and quite like jumping the gun. I think you're lucky that you've won your sort of last 3 or 4 out of your last 5 games.
Mhm.
Because obviously, if say Poch gets sacked, obviously, had you have lost the Arsenal game and then lost the last 2 games or whatever it was, then it probably would have been looking like he was going at the end of the season. If Chelsea are in that sort of mess, again, you've got the Bayern problem. Who says yes to Chelsea? Yes, you've got unlimited funds, but in the state that you were a proper
I think
mess.
Chelsea's way more attractive than Bayern Munich.
Oh no, but in terms of the mess that you were in, do you know what I mean? Like,
But is it that much of a mess? Because obviously with the owners, yeah, true.
I'm saying like the state of the club.
structure
Had you
of
have
the
then
players.
lost and then not got Europe and stuff, obviously you winning those last couple of games against United and stuff like that has really pushed you up the table. But I don't. I think yeah.
I feel like Bowley will just go for Robert De Zerbi. Like he goes for more of the
But see,
forward-thinking
like,
long-term manager.
If it's like Robert De Zerbi, I'd be like him and like Ruben Amorim, I think his name is. I'm not convinced by them.
Well,
So wouldn't you just keep Poch if that was the choice? Because I feel like
in
that
that
is the
case,
choice.
I would see like, is it not better off just keeping Poch? But if it's like a winner like Tuchel or Hansi Flick, then yeah, I can see the other like the mentality and stuff. But I don't know.
I mean, he's not giving 8-year contracts to players for them to have 3-4 managers. He generally, I think Bowley's plan is to have one manager with these players. Yeah, But
We'll
that's
see.
why
Look,
you,
listen,
you, you
listen,
won't get who you want, like a Zidane type. Obviously not Zidane, but
listen. Next season will be a fresh start if he stays. But we could go 1 month in and he could be calamity as well. Anything can happen, right, in football.
Chavez, I got a this is the most random thing in the world. But would you take like a Ronaldo as manager at United if he was ever to come manager?
no, because Ronaldo's never. I don't think he's going to be like a Calvin Klein model, probably. He'll
He's,
just be
he's,
a.
he's got the
You know who
mentality
I'd
for it, I
take?
reckon.
Oh, there's only one manager I'd take because he's actually proven himself. Like
Michael
none of
Carrick.
this BS.
Here,
No,
McKenna.
McKenna. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
actually proved two
I'll be
Big
paying
up
back-to-back
him.
McKenna,
promotions.
by the way. Big up.
Yeah, two back-to-back promotions. It's crazy.
You love him, don't you?
Yeah, and
Big impact.
they hate on him and Ollie, and all these people are just biting their tongue now.
I think that's
Because,
enough from Chelsea. I mean,
yeah,
obviously, we want to
right,
talk West Ham. The thing they've got Lopetegui now, haven't they? And
yeah.
That's confirmed.
yeah, I think
It's
so.
Fabrizio
Basically.
confirmed, so it's confirmed
Yeah,
basically, isn't it?
basically.
So I suppose moving on to you. More refereeing controversies. You beat Bournemouth 3-0. Penalty, yes or no? And I'll ask you the second question, 2-1. Should the Bournemouth goal have stood? Yes or no?
Yes, to answer your question, from the rule book, yes, it should have been a penalty, but it's very light to be given, it's very soft to be given as a penalty.
What?
What?
What rule book?
Literally, the
What?
commentator, like, literally, the sports persons
What
in
rule
the
book
Sky
says for
Sports
diving?
studios and everything like that was looking at it, and simply because whatever the keeper's name is, went out and was actually going for him, and he clipped him just a little bit.
He didn't clip him.
He did.
He dragged his leg on the floor.
But because the keeper, apparently they said because the keeper was his intention was to go and take the ball, but his leg was left out. That's why it was given as a penalty. Apparently, according to the rule book. So this is
That's
what I said. Hear me out. Hear me out. This is what I said. In the rule book, yes, it's a penalty. But would I have given it as a referee? No. I think that's very soft. And then the Bournemouth goal, no. I was very like, okay, we got let off very lightly there as the Bournemouth goal. I think that should have stood. I think it was just very lightly given against David Raya, but hey, here we are. It is what it is.
is,
But moving on to the game, go on, Dan. What you can say?
well, I was going to say it's almost similar to like a couple of weeks ago. We had the discussion when you played Bayern away in the UCL. Sorry, at home with the Neuer penalty. It's like he's kind of half took his leg away, so that's probably why it wasn't given. Whereas this one, his leg was
He's
still
leaned
there.
in, yeah. As the rule book says, as I say, because he's gone for it and he's left his leg out, it doesn't matter as minimal the contact because he's clipped him a tiny bit. According to the rule book, it's a penalty. As I say, for me, I wouldn't give it, but we got it, so is what it is. Anyway, on to the game. A simple game again. I think Bournemouth are a strong team at the moment. To be fair, they're really like what was their stat? I think they've scored like a load of goals in the past 10 games or something like that. So they were quite a team
Just
to kind of
to
behold.
interrupt, I think it's their highest ever finish in the Premier League as well.
That's
So
what I'm saying. So
Mm.
they're a high form team and they're a high scoring team as well. And obviously we could link it back to the Luton game as well when we stopped Luton in their tracks for scoring every game they played in the past like 15 games as well. So like not a walk in the park, but we still managed to get 3 points and a clean sheet. Like maybe you could have said Bournemouth could have had a penalty because Saliba maybe pulled back Billing and then they given. I don't know. There's loads of things that could have went wrong, but we secured the job. I think it was quite comfortable in the attack. I think Havertz played fantastic. Declan Rice played fantastic. Martin Odegaard had a good game as well. The back four looked good. Tomiyasu's really looking like smooth into that left back role. Ben White, of course, still a master at the right back. And it's almost like I'm actually kind of looking forward to this United game coming up to see if Arteta includes Timber in the sub bench to see if he can get because he said he's 100% available and ready because he's been through training, he's played in the under-21s, he's got the game time in, so there's no like reason why he can't be. There's no like underlying figure unless there is, maybe I don't know. But from what I saw against Bournemouth, if we can play that sort of football against you, because I know you might adopt some sort of different kind of a tactic against us because of that sort of football we play, which might be our own downfall. But if we can play like, because it just seems to be, Chavez, whenever I saw you play like in the previous maybe couple of weeks, it seems to be like your kind of downfall is you try too much to kind of like force it into one area and then you lose it, and then there's so much open space in the middle that kind of like just
Yeah.
lets you down.
Thing is, why we never struggle against you as well? We always win. Is because you dominate games, right? And our biggest strength is counter attack. And you get our players turn up, like we score some bangers. It
Yeah.
just seems to happen every time, and we really capitalize on that. So this
Exactly.
whole like space thing doesn't happen as often against you because
Exactly.
you have possession.
But that's what I'm saying. So if we do manage to capitalize on the fact that we've got a lot of space in the middle of the park where you try and like pass the ball forward, then we might be able to get something from it. But like we're doing everything we can at the moment to try and secure this this title, this Premier League. We're doing everything we can. Obviously, it was a pain in the arse we lost to Villa, but because Villa decide they want to turn up against us and only us, they just lost to Brighton on the weekend, for fuck's sake. What's getting on? But yeah, as I say, look, at the moment, I've got nothing. There's nothing wrong with our club at the moment. I think everything from the top down is absolutely fantastic, and we've just got to simply hold our fingers like this and pray that Man City lose or draw to Fulham, lose or draw to Tottenham, or lose or draw to West Ham. Because all of that, to be fair, Fulham away isn't an easy place to go. Tottenham away, obviously, they're stuck in a dilemma because if they win, they give us the Prem, but if they lose, they might miss out on European football and UCL. But then West Ham also are fighting for European football as well, so they might want to try and challenge Man City. I know it's at the Etihad, but they still want to try and get 3 points for them to try and secure European football. So there's no like easy walk in the park game for any team for the remainder of the season. As I say, Chavez, we got you next week. You know, as you said, your players could be the worst of the worst for the past 10 games, and then all of a sudden they see Arsenal at home, they're thinking, "Oh, I'm fucking up for this," and that's all it takes is 90 minutes of players who are up for it, and then we could get bent over.
Oh, are you winning the Prem?
At the moment, no.
You said yes last week, didn't you?
What the hell?
I thought at the point if the league finishes now,
Mathematically, we can't.
No, but in your heart, in your red heart, are you winning?
In my fucking heart, yes, we fucking are. Yeah, as an Arsenal
In
fan, I
your
want us
head,
to win.
in your head, are you winning the league?
No, in my head, no, but in my heart, we are. Yeah,
What
I'd
it
like.
comes down to is with Man City,
it's literally a draw.
it's going to be Spurs. I think Spurs is the.
I
biggest-
hope someone does it. Maybe, mate. You know, but the thing is,
I don't
people are
think
writing
we're
off Fulham.
starting-
Fulham
But
are
yeah,
hard to
Fulham
go
could
to.
be-
Fulham have got nothing to play for anymore, though.
Yeah, but
They've
Yeah.
been crap the last few games.
yeah, but they're
they've
hard.
been
Away,
poor.
is it Craven Cottage?
Mm.
In my
Is it?
opinion,
Is
yeah.
it?
It's a
Actually,
hard
that
place
bad.
to go to. Hope Leno does a job for us. Bless him. Brings it back for us.
I'd also, I suppose, we're coming to the tail of the season, so I will jump in. Obviously, you mentioned the Brighton Villa game. At the start of the season, my outrageous take was Pedro's going to get more goals and assists than Martinelli in the Prem. And at the minute, he has. Martinelli's on 10, Pedro's on 11. So I just thought I'd put that in as we're coming towards the tail end of the season. Martinelli has played
By all
four-
means, yeah.
four
I
more
think
games.
Martinelli's had a stinker this
I mean,
season.
doesn't Pedro takes pens anyway, so it's like a give.
He does. But I do want to leech onto that because Martinelli hasn't had a good season this season, in my opinion. I think he's kind of been off it.
Why
According to
Why is
FootMob, he's had an average rating of 7.09, so just above average.
Why
Who?
do you think El he
Martinelli.
hasn't? Because last season
But that's not reflective.
he was integral for you. Him and Saka was the
Yeah.
goal. Why do you think this season hasn't gone to plan? Do you think it's been other players, Trossard, the style of play?
Injury, I think, would be a major.
I don't know. Yeah, it could be anything, mate. Like it seems he's up for it. He wants to, but it just seems it doesn't want to work for him. Like I can't explain it. Like everything that goes to him is kind of like his first touch doesn't seem to be working properly. Any kind of through ball, he's kind of looking down like that as he's running, and it kind of like puts him off. Like there was a through ball I think that went to him on the weekend that we just played against Bournemouth. Yeah, and like there was a through ball perfect to him, and all he had to do was slot it. But because he was too focused on where the ball is, he almost like tripped over himself and kind of like missed out on an opportunity to get a goal. And yeah, you could be right. Like it could be competition where Trossard's having the better game at the moment and impacting the game differently to the point where right backs are more fearful of Trossard at the moment than Martinelli's pace. Then we play that way. But who knows? Maybe like next season. Martinelli comes in strong again and then gets like 7 goals in the first 4 games. You never know. Like I don't know what's going on.
I suppose before we move on to Man United, obviously you've touched on the Man United game at the weekend. So combined 11 for Arsenal versus Manchester United. Premier League
It's a
title decider.
full
potentially.
Arsenal 11, unfortunately, Chavez.
No, it's not full. I think Onana's had a better season than Raya.
Well,
In the
how's
Prem.
Raya got the Golden Glove?
Because Raya has an unbelievable defense.
Okay, but he's got the Golden Glove. It doesn't matter.
I think
he does.
I
I
think
think Onana's
Onana's like start of the year form.
I
but that was
gonna say-
UCL. I mean, that was UCL.
No,
I was going to say, if you're basing it off, Onana's had, as you said, made more saves because he's got a bunch of donkeys in front of him. But Breyer, again, with the clean sheet thing, you've got to look at it and go, that's the better argument than making more saves.
I'm just thinking logistically here.
It's the same L. But I'm consistent, by the way. I didn't praise De Gea for his Golden Glove last year. That was completely based on Mount Martinez.
No,
No, Raya's been good. He's only made a few mistakes this year. I think he's been really good in goal.
Well,
As I
last
say,
week
when he
was
made that
Spurs.
mistake against
Well,
Spurs,
no.
other than that, after that, he was fantastic.
Oh, do you know what? I'll paint you a picture. If Raya was in goal where Onana is in goal at United, Raya would have conceded a lot more goals and made a lot more mistakes with that defense. 100%.
So,
Well,
but I
it's up
don't know,
to
was it a 3-1 vote on Breyer? Was that?
I'm
All right, you can have Raya. You can have Raya.
Right back.
Not gonna have
Ben
much
White.
more after that. Oh, Delo's been good, but yeah, it's
Ben
Ben
White's
White.
been
Centre-
so impactful.
centre
Ben
back.
White, in my opinion, Ben White this season has been the best right back in the league.
Okay. The
I
only
don't know who
centre
you
back
think
we
anyone else
have,
is.
the only centre back we have to offer is Maguire. He's the only good one.
No, I'd say
But you know the
Same here,
partnership's
Gabriel.
the most unbelievable
Yeah.
partnership.
Yeah, it's just not gonna happen, is it?
Left
Yeah.
back.
Left back's a position you could
We
have maybe, but then you haven't
no
really got a left back
how.
either.
No, the thing is, we could put Delo in. I think Delo's had
I
a
think
very
we
good
should put
Okay.
season.
Delo left
Put
back.
Yeah,
Delo
that's
left
fine.
back.
Yeah, that's fine.
Midfield.
I can't believe that we got one.
Rice,
Why-
Odegaard,
Bruno.
and
Bruno.
I think Bruno's had a brilliant
Oh,
season.
what
Okay,
about
Bruno, yeah.
Chavez? What about your beloved Kobe Manu?
who does he
Nah,
get
not
over
compared.
though?
No, Rice and Odegaard.
Rice and
Rice,
Odegaard,
Rice,
yeah.
and
And I
Odegaard.
think
Okay.
Bruno.
No, I'm happy with Bruno next to him as an 8. Put him as an 8.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Right wing
So it'd
Saka.
be Saka. To be fair, Chavez, Hoyland.
No, it's Havertz.
Oh, right wing. Oh, you've
No,
got
through
striker.
the middle.
Yeah.
Through the middle. Yeah.
Havertz.
No, Havertz has still scored a lot of goals. He's in a
Yeah.
very good system, and Højlund
Havertz
not
is
yet.
very, very good at the moment.
And then left
Yeah.
wing.
again. I think you touched on
Trossard.
Trossard.
Trossard, yeah.
Trossard over Martinelli.
Yeah, it's
I
such
don't
a-
know. I don't know.
Garnacho?
Garnacho over Trossard. No, Trossard's outscored him.
Maybe if
like,
Garnacho carried on what he was doing, maybe like 10
Yeah.
games ago, then you could have had a shout, but he kind of dropped off a bit.
Yeah.
He scored a bicy and walked away and never came look back.
Yeah.
Trossard's on 11 goals this season. He's at double
Yeah,
figures. I
Trossard.
didn't realise he was
Yeah,
that
that's
high.
what I'm saying. Underrated.
Trossard's
Didn't realise
been
he
very
was
good
that high.
for us. Yeah.
Okay, that's the 11.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dallo
cool.
and Bruno get in, and that's it.
Wasn't as one-sided as Elliot made it out to be, but that's pretty got to be up there with our most.
Well, that's our
one-sided
forward for having a
11s.
left back because Timber's at ACL and Tomiasu's been out as well, and Zinchenko's got half.
Yeah,
brain.
Timber. By the way, in an actual team, Timber gets in. Like I think
Yeah,
in an
yeah,
actual
yeah,
best
easy.
11, Timber,
yeah.
and then Martinez, you could make an argument for. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
quite poor.
So Chavez, Man United.
Your segment, yeah.
Yeah, we're
Take it
we're
away.
playing Palace in like a couple of hours. Palace have been very good on form. They've got a new manager who gets them playing football, as they keep tweeting about it. I think this will be a very different test to the last 2-3 weeks we've had, and I don't think we have the players back. They're 1 week too late. We really needed a couple back. Martinez is one of them. But yeah, I don't see us winning. Like it would actually be quite incredible if we won this match, considering we just don't have the players back. And yeah, on that part, like there's not much I can say until the game happens, because every United game is unpredictable and anything can happen. We could end up, and another thing, it could end up being a very high scoring game, because that seems to happen every single game. The one thing I'd like to see us do is control possession for more than 20 minutes in the match, because we've started doing it, but we just don't do it for long enough. I would really like that, and not to just hoof the ball up at every given opportunity. Maguire's out for 3 weeks now. That's the shambles, because he might miss the FA Cup final, and we don't know about Varane yet. So the only real centre back is Martinez alongside Johnny. I think today we will see Johnny Evans and Casemiro at the back, so that will be interesting. This is why I don't see us winning this game. I'd be shocked if Palace didn't beat us, and beating us wouldn't be bad as long as we don't get destroyed. You know, something like memorable 25, 40 years down the line. We don't want that to happen. Don't want today to be like a historic day, please. Yeah, I was going to speak on Erik ten Hag. He's probably the most talked about man at the moment in terms of the club, England. He keeps getting news stories, one about Bayern Munich, linked to Bayern, linked to other clubs. Ajax have put him off his list. It's just all about him. So I was going to speak about Erik ten Hag and his future at Man United, and I'm going to explain to you why he should be sacked immediately once the season ends. So last season, Erik ten Hag got 3rd place and a trophy, which, to be fair to him, was an overperformance. We didn't expect him to just get top 4 just like that. And fair enough. But since then, that was the standard he set. And I think 3rd place and a trophy should have been the minimum this season. This season, we might end up with a trophy, but we're definitely not getting 3rd place. And I know the biggest argument for Ten Hag is his injuries, his centre-back partnerships. I think we've had 60 plus injuries, 25 plus centre-back partnerships. I don't see why that's overlooked at. It's looked at a lot, and I don't get why, because other clubs have had injuries as well. I mean, I'm sure other clubs have had 30, 40, 50 injuries this season that we're competing against. I don't see why we're the one that gets focused on. And if you look at the players specifically, for example, Ten Hag is supposed to be a tactician, right? The whole point of that is when you have a player injured, for example, Luke Shaw, we haven't had a left back. Players like Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Delo, they come in, they should be able to play to the level of Luke Shaw. At least they don't have to play better than him because they're not left backs, but at the very least, a tactical system with instructions should allow you to play to a certain level that is the same as Luke Shaw's, at least. Like, for example, Lindelof, Swedish Player of the Year, I think, 2-time Swedish. He's an international. He should be able to play to Luke Shaw's level at left back. Same with when Casemiro's out. Amrabat comes in. Amrabat has played for Morocco in big competitions. He should be able to play to Casemiro's level. These injuries shouldn't mean anything. We should have players come in straight away. Kambwala, I mean, he's played football all his life. He should come in and play to the exact level of Martinez. I don't get why that's an issue. It doesn't matter how many injuries you have. Whoever comes in, the manager's tactics are supposed to master that, and they haven't. Erik ten Hag gets blamed for. Well, he doesn't. He doesn't get any blame for the injury record. I think it's his fault to do. Look at his injury record at previous clubs. I haven't looked at the facts, obviously, because I'm an ignorant twat, but I'm sure he's also had a million injuries at previous clubs as well. Ajax have had injury problems, never played with their first team. So we don't have to look at it. We don't have to look into that, but it's a consistent thing. So Erik ten Hag should be blamed for the injuries because it's happened at other clubs. It's happened at Ajax. It happened last season at United. It's his fault. The training methods clearly don't work. If other managers came in, Pep, Arteta, Klopp, these three managers, they're all going to get third place and trophy this season. Arsenal have the Community Shield. I think straight away in that position, they would have at least got us a trophy in third place minimum, and that's why Ten Hag should go. These managers guaranteed they would have done the same thing or better. And we are so 100% sure that Ten Hag should go. I think we should be, because we are sure that there are other managers out there that would do better than him in this position next season. And for example, because of him now, we're losing a lot of players. Martial, he's an FA Cup Europa League winning player. He's going to go in the summer because of this. Sancho is a UCL semi-final performing player. He's going to go because of this. We keep blaming the players. We keep putting it all on the players, and we keep changing the players. We need to finally change the manager after Sir Alex Ferguson. We haven't done it, so it's time to stop blaming the players and change the manager. Do you see how stupid I've sounded for the last 2 minutes? I don't get these people that want Ten Hag out. They will want the next manager out before we want him out. I don't the next manager, whether it be, I've said it, Beyonce, Taylor Swift, or Graham Potter. I don't care. I will want that manager in before these lot want. They don't get it, and I still don't understand this fan base. It's the biggest mystery to me. Yeah, that was my 2 minutes. Just
wanted to add, is Tyrell Malacia still under witness protection?
Just trying to cosplay being an idiot. Malacia is. There's a video of him, but I don't know if it's real. People want him to hold a newspaper, but he hasn't.
Put a lemon on his head, put a spoon on his nose or something.
But yeah, as jokes aside, that was just me trying to pretend to be, that, and I just already hate myself trying to pretend to be like them. But the final is the big game, and I really hope we have players back. It's such a shame that this season we haven't actually got to see the main United team, and obviously it's not completely black and white. Injuries should also be, but I don't think any manager has faced what Ten Hag has this season. That's what I'm trying to say in a sarcastic way. I don't think 60 plus and 25 centre-back partnerships. This crap has not happened to anyone. 60 plus injuries has not happened to anyone. It's a joke. No, it's not. You haven't had 60 plus injuries. That was my point. No one has. Not this season.
Not this season, no. But
no, it's a record. Dan, for us, the highest we've had before this was 30 in a season. And the whole thing, what I was trying to point was that people blaming Ten Hag for the injury record, you have to start looking at previous clubs and even previous season United. This wasn't happening. So it's not just him, is it? He's not injuring the players. It would have happened
going
previously.
out with a mallet.
Yeah, so I don't get this. If you are 100% Ten Hag out and you are 100% sure you know who the next man is that will do better, fair enough, be Ten Hag out, but no one is. No one's going to sit there and tell you there's this one guaranteed person who's going to do better. Why can't we just stick with the manager? What's the impatience? We've gone through so much years of shit. We're not getting entitled to the Premier League. We're not going to win the Premier League in the next year or two with another manager. We're not entitled to it. There are other good teams that play good football too. So let's just stick with this one and see what happens. Let's see his contract out and get the next one in. I know we have loyalties to Ronaldo. I love Ronaldo too. I don't dislike him. He's one of my favorite players of all time. But just because he upset your idol and your god, it doesn't mean he needs to pay for it. And I ultimately think a lot of United fans, that's their issue. It just comes down to Ronaldo.
It's fair.
You think so? You think it's the Ronaldo FC basically the reason why?
Yes, 100%.
And not the fact that you've played tactically pretty bad in these games.
Do you not get my point about how it's quite literally impossible to implement your tactics when
I understand that, but at the same time, don't managers have to improvise and stuff? I mean, look at Klopp with all the young bucks in the Carabao Cup. I mean, look at someone like Harvey Elliott coming in and being a staple.
Yeah, but look how many years he's down his process with Liverpool and how well he knows the players versus Ten Hag in his second season. I just think it's really unfair to compare it.
Shabazz, I just wanted to ask. Well, I was just going to ask quickly, Daniel. I know obviously that's looking into the future, but I wanted to look into the near future. Depending on how well you do against Crystal Palace tonight, are you confident? And what are your predictions for the Arsenal game on the weekend coming?
I mean, oh, it's only going to get worse because realistically, I don't think we'll beat Palace today. So you'll see more and more people Ten Hag out, and then there's a good chance we won't beat you as well. It depends on. I don't like the fact that we're playing you before the Tottenham game. I would have liked if Tottenham had beat City or played them at least, and then
Yeah,
it would have
then,
put
yeah.
pressure on you. I feel like you're playing without a bit of pressure. Obviously, you still have pressure, but you know that added pressure
I
of
know
we
what you mean.
have to win. So I feel like this could be your time now. And yeah, that's why 2 losses now, and everyone will be even further with Ten Hag out. This video, I'll probably look like an idiot saying everything I've said, but I don't care. Like, I don't care if we sack him because I'm telling you now, next year you're going to see compilations throwback to the days of Ten Hag and like the win rates and that February last year. We do it with Ollie now. Like people hated Ollie. Ollie should have gone. Eventually, even I was Ollie out. But like they're going to start doing it with Ten Hag even more, and it's just like, why don't you just keep him in
It's
now?
like swings and roundabouts, isn't it?
Yeah, I hope the owners are keeping him. There's a vibe that we just don't have anyone good enough to replace him. So there's a feeling that he might stay just purely because of that. I don't think they want him ideally, but just because there's no one really else, he might stay. So I hope that happens.
I'll
But I
stay
don't
for
like.
him.
I like United fan base's opinion, like in the sense that I want us to be together, but we're not. We're never going to agree. I'm trying. This is why I'm saying this. Just to see.
Before we end off, United Arsenal score predictions. Let's go quickly.
1-1.
3-1 Arsenal.
3-1 Arsenal. Yeah.
3-1.
2-2.
What did you say, Chavez?
He said
1-1.
1-1.
Oh,
That's like being hopeful.
a bit hopeful. I mean, as you said last week, you don't keep clean sheets, do you? So
It's impossible.
It's guaranteed we'll score 1, but
Yeah, you're guaranteed a goal.
So I suppose, yeah, but by the time next week rolls around, we'll find out. We won't know, obviously, the result of the Tottenham Man City game, but we'll find out whether Elliot's going to be in tears and Chavez is celebrating or Chavez is just going to, repeat.
Chavez won't
No,
celebrate
thanks.
anyway. He doesn't care.
Yeah, it's just numb.
Thank you very much for watching, and until next week, goodbye.